Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to explore an economic indicator that maybe doesn't grab all the headlines, like the stock market does, but its impact on our financial lives is, well, it's pretty huge. It's the Producer Price Index, or PPI. Our goal here is simple: give you a real understanding of what it does and, crucially, why it actually matters in the real world.
That's right. Think of the PPI as like an early warning system for inflation. It gives you a look at costs way upstream in the economy. By the end of this, you won't just know what it is, but really why these producer prices could eventually affect the price tags you see, and even things like interest rates. It's about getting that deeper insight.
Okay, so let's start right there. What exactly is the Producer Price Index? Give us the core idea.
Well, basically, the PPI measures the average change over time in the selling prices that domestic producers get for their goods and services. It's looking at the revenue side for businesses before their products get anywhere near a retail store.
Okay, that sounds like a really key difference. So we're talking prices businesses charge each other, or maybe the price they get when they first sell something, not what we pay.
Exactly. You nailed the critical point there.
Mm.
The CPI, the Consumer Price Index, that tracks the final price you pay at the store or, the car dealership.
Yeah.
But the PPI gives you that earlier view. It reflects cost changes weeks, maybe even months before consumers feel it. Think raw materials, components, wholesale services, stuff that goes into the final product you buy.
Right. So it's like tracking the cost of the ingredients before the cake is baked and put on the shelf.
That's a great analogy. And producers, well, they often have less wiggle room to just absorb cost increases compared to maybe a big retailer.
That makes sense. It's hitting them more directly. So what kind of ingredients or sectors does the PPI look at to get this early picture?
Oh, it's remarkably wide-ranging. It covers manufacturing, obviously, but also mining, agriculture, and a really significant chunk of the services sector, too. That breadth is exactly why it's so useful. It gives you a genuinely broad look at what's happening right at the start of the supply chain across many different industries. Not just raw stuff, but also semi-finished goods, finished goods at the first point of sale, and even some services tied to production.
Okay, that broad scope definitely helps paint a fuller picture. But if we're not buying directly from the factory gate, why should these producer prices be on our radar? Why is this behind-the-scenes number so important for us?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. The PPI is often seen as a leading indicator for inflation. That's the key takeaway. What that means is changes in producer prices foreshadow changes in consumer prices, the ones the CPI tracks later on.
Ah, okay. So it's like an early warning signal.
Precisely. If a company's costs for materials or transport go up, which the PPI would show, they're almost certainly going to think about passing those costs on to you, the consumer, down the line. So rising producer costs, it's like a whisper of what might be coming for your wallet.
So it's not just theoretical. These are actual cost pressures businesses are feeling. And like you said, those pressures rarely just stay put, right?
Exactly right. When PPI goes up, it signals higher costs for businesses. But, and this is important, it doesn't always mean a direct one-to-one increase in consumer prices. Businesses face a choice, right? Do they absorb some cost to keep customers happy, maybe protect their profit margins a bit, or pass it all on and risk losing sales?
That's a factor, too. Market competition and how much people are willing to pay.
Correct. Things like how much competition there is, overall consumer demand, it all plays a role. So the PPI tells us the pressure is building, but the final outcome isn't always automatic. It's nuanced.
That adds another layer, the business strategy side.
Okay, but beyond just thinking about future prices, how does PPI connect to, say, the Federal Reserve? Their policies impact so much.
Oh, the Fed watches PPI very closely. It's a key piece of data for them when they're trying to anticipate inflation trends. They're not just looking at current inflation. They want to see what might be coming down the pipeline. So PPI data directly feeds into their big decisions on interest rates, whether to cut, hike, or just hold steady.
So if PPI is rising sharply month after month,
That might signal to the Fed, okay, we need to cool things down, maybe by raising interest rates to prevent inflation from really taking off. It helps them aim for price stability.
so it's not just looking back, it's a tool they use to try and steer things going forward.
Exactly. It lets them gauge those pressures building up. And it's not just the Fed either. Many businesses actually use PPI data in their contracts.
Really? How does that work? Well, imagine a long-term deal between, say, a car company and a steel supplier. They might write into the contract that the price of steel adjusts automatically each quarter based on the official PPI figure for steel. It helps both sides manage the risk of prices suddenly shooting up or dropping unexpectedly over a long contract.
Interesting. So it baked right into business operations. Can you give us maybe a more concrete example of how that might play out in practice?
Sure. Let's think about a big construction project, maybe a company building a bridge over several years. They've likely agreed on a price with the government or whoever commissioned it. But their costs for things like concrete, steel beams, even specialized labor, those could change a lot over 3, 4, 5 years.
Right. Costs definitely aren't static.
So to protect themselves, they might have a clause in their contract with their concrete supplier saying the price adjusts monthly based on the PPI for construction materials. This helps the construction company avoid getting squeezed by surprise cost hikes, and it gives the supplier some predictability too. So these PPI numbers have immediate, real-world financial consequences for big deals.
That really does bring it home. Okay, so businesses use it, the Fed watches it. What does this mean for the wider economy and maybe even for investments? How do the financial markets react when PPI numbers come out?
Markets are definitely paying attention. If a PPI report comes out and it's higher than everyone expected, that often sparks fears about more inflation coming.
Yeah.
What happens then? Well, stocks might dip because inflation eats into future company profits and it makes future interest rate hikes more likely. Higher rates make borrowing more expensive for everyone. And bond yields. They usually rise because investors want a better return to make up for the money losing value due to inflation.
Okay, and I guess the flip side is true too. If TPI is lower than expected,
Exactly. A lower than expected PPI. That suggests inflation pressures might be easing up. Markets generally like that. It can give stocks a lift, especially sectors like tech that are sensitive to interest rates. Because if inflation looks calmer, the Fed might be less likely to raise rates or maybe even think about cutting them eventually. That makes borrowing cheaper, encourages companies to invest, and is generally seen as better for economic growth. The reaction can be pretty quick.
so PPI really gives us this valuable sneak peek, this sort of early insight into potential price changes and policy moves, helps people make smarter decisions.
It really does. And the key thing is, you need both PPI and CPI to get the full story on inflation. Seeing what producers are dealing with and what consumers are actually paying, putting those together gives you the most complete picture, one without the other. You're kind of flying blind.
Right, you need both halves of the equation. Okay, let's make this even more concrete. Can you walk us through an example that connects all these pieces?
Let's stick with steel prices, since they affect so much. Imagine the latest PPI report comes out, and boom, it shows the price steel mills are charging out. Manufacturers jumped, let's say, 8% last month. That's a big jump. Now think about car manufacturers. Steel is a huge part of making a car, the frame, the body.
Okay, so their main ingredient just got 8% more expensive. They probably can't just swallow that whole cost, right?
Very unlikely. An 8% jump in a major material, that's substantial. So to protect their own bottom line, car makers will likely need to raise the sticker price on new cars fairly soon. Now, if you're an investor, you see that 8% PPI jump for steel. What do you expect next?
You'd expect this consumer price index, the CPI, to show higher car prices in the next month or two.
Exactly. As those higher prices hit the dealerships and people start paying them, that's the ripple effect.
And that ripple keeps going, right?
Right.
All the way to the Fed and interest rates.
It does. Because that expectation of higher consumer prices, which started with the PPI report, could make the Federal Reserve pause. Maybe they were thinking about cutting interest rates. Well, maybe they'll hold off now. Or, if they were already leaning towards raising rates, this data might just confirm their decision. And when the Fed holds off on cuts, or actually hikes rates,
It makes borrowing more expensive for all of us.
Yeah.
Mortgages, car loans, business loans.
precisely. So that initial 8% jump in steel prices, first picked up by the PPI, can ripple out to affect the price of the next car you buy and the interest rate on the loan you might take out for it. It's all connected.
Wow. Yeah, that example really does connect the dots clearly. Okay, so wrapping this up, what we've really unpacked here is that the Producer Price Index, the PPI, isn't just some dry statistic. It's actually a pretty powerful forward-looking indicator for inflation. And it touches everything from what the Fed does with interest rates to, well, the price tags you see every day. Understanding it gives you a real edge in making sense of economic news.
Absolutely. It helps you see those underlying currents. And maybe here's a thought to leave you with. How might understanding this journey of prices, from the raw material the producer uses all the way to the item in your shopping cart, how might that change the way you listen to the next economic report? Knowing about this behind-the-scenes pressure on costs can really sharpen your ability to anticipate what might happen next with consumer spending and maybe even the overall health of the economy. It's about seeing the whole picture.